Welcome back to another edition of 10314. I'm here with Kathy Del Piore, Executive Director of the Grace Foundation. Also joining us, State Assemblyman Michael Reilly and Barbara DeMora, founding parent of the Grace Foundation. So thank you guys for joining us.
Oh, thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you.
So today we're focused on Giving Tuesday. As we're going into the holiday season, we want to be able to make sure that the Grace Foundation and all of our community neighbors and partners are focusing on doing good things, but collaborating to do things well and different and unique, and keep bringing attention and putting a spotlight on the work that Grace and all the other nonprofits are actually doing and what the impact is that they're having in our city.
Right, there's thousands of nonprofits out there trying to accomplish the same thing. But Giving Tuesday is a global day of giving. It's a movement across the country. To be part of it is just really asking, not just monetarily, but asking of your time, volunteering, just doing something kind for someone else. Just a friendly gesture is part of Giving Tuesday. And that's what we want to communicate out there. With the help of our nonprofits and our small businesses and politicians and everybody else, we could actually put the word out there and be one voice.
I think this is something that it's a movement that started long ago within our own community. As Barbara, as you as an individual, along with other parents, you did something. You didn't just sit back and let other things happen or accept the conditions of and resources that were available. You did something little to start with, and steps got bigger and bigger, and you got more support and more people, and it continued to grow. And I think as a state assemblyman, I don't know if you see similar things like that in your travels and your time in Albany and other places, to be able to say our community is unique and we're doing something special in Staten Island. We should keep doing it.
Yeah, Dan, Staten Island is unique, and you see it in the political world too, that here on Staten Island, it doesn't matter what party affiliation you have. When it comes to helping the community, we stand shoulder to shoulder. And that's more than just on Giving Tuesday, right? That's every day. And especially when it comes to our not-for-profit partners here on Staten Island. You mentioned about Giving Tuesday, and one thing that we were talking about earlier is it's not necessarily just giving money. It's giving your time, giving your effort to those organizations that help our community and help our neighbors. Just the idea of how the Grace Foundation started, how you get traction is through action. It's part of the word. And the action was actually moving from having good intentions to be intentionally good. And when you're intentionally good, that means that you're actually taking the steps required to make things happen. We can all say that, oh, that sounds like a good idea, we're going to do it. But it's the motivation that gets you out of bed to actually do the things that you want to do to help your community. And I think that's really where the rubber hits the road. And I think that's what you see here on Staten Island. And I'm sure that our neighbors are going to come through for all our not-for-profits.
That's right. Barbara, is there tell us about your journey a little bit, and also if there's any sort of tips or insights that you might be able to give a parent who's looking for resources.
Yep. My journey started when Grace started in 2000, but my son was born in 1998, Nicholas. He was diagnosed with autism. We started the Grace Foundation at a kitchen table. We tell that story a lot, and look what it's become today. It's pretty amazing stuff. We never had that kind of foresight. We were doing it in the immediacy of what we thought we needed at the time, and it's just been amazing that it's turned into what it has. I have 3 children, but Nicholas needed more than the others. He was my motivation, like you spoke of, Mike, to get out of bed every day and to make the world a better place for him, because he was always just beyond that reach of grasping the rest of the world. I knew I had a uphill battle with him, and all the organizations on Staten Island, not just Grace. He got services through many of these organizations. They gave him a quality of life, and I'm so proud because he's no longer with us, as many of Nicholas passed in May. But what I'm the most proud of is that he had a really good life. He had a really good quality of life. He did more in his 25 years than most people do in their lifetime. And I owe that to the nonprofits and the people that gave him opportunities, as well as us as his parents. We took him on vacations. We did everything with him. We gave him every opportunity. But the nonprofits Grace, being the main, gave him an opportunity to do many things, trips, dances, proms, job opportunities, life skills, you name it, socializing with friends. Those were all the things that made his life wonderful. And the advice I can give to parents is to chase that wonderful life. Don't be isolated. Don't not tap services. Get your kids involved in as many things as you can, because they want a seat at the table. They want to be able to do all the things that other kids do. And thankfully here on Staten Island, we have a lot of nonprofits that offer these things to them.
Yeah, I think honestly, the services here on this island, we've talked about it with the borough president a couple weeks back, but hands down, the services here are better than anywhere else in the country. I've said it 100 times. My in-laws would be long gone if it wasn't for a place like a Lifestyle for the Disabled or Grace or other programs that exist, because they see that quality of life in my sister-in-law. I think it's unique. I think it's a great message to continue to share with other parents. We've heard a lot from other parents that were in here today with us as well about early intervention, making sure that you're vetting out what resources are available. We have different places where people could go and could start searching for things, but where would you say would be a great starting point?
Definitely early intervention, but one of the things I did with Nicholas that a lot of parents are leery to do is I exposed him to typical peers as much as I could. Along with the services he got through the nonprofits, I made sure he was with other typically developing peers to see those models. And that's what's nice, because the organizations like the Grace Foundation, On Your Mark, Lifestyles, Eden, when they go out into the community, they're showing them what life is like and their job skills and what they need to do. But I think that's an important start, is having them be with typical peers and learning the rules. One of the things I tell parents, and a lot of them don't like to hear it, but the worst thing you could do is just keep your child happy. If you just keep them happy and give them everything they want, and they don't learn the rules and they don't learn parameters and boundaries, when they're older, you're going to have your hands full, very full.
Great words of wisdom and advice. And as we're focusing more on this upcoming day, but also for the rest of the year, there's other things that we're doing. We're building out the kitchen program, and we're doing other things in Nick's honor.
Yes, we're very proud of that.
He was also an organ donor.
Yes, he was.
And he was able to basically, his
Save-
eyes, heart,
Yep,
right?
saved 8 lives. His eyes, his heart, his liver, both his lungs, his pancreas and his intestines went to diabetes research too. So it wasn't life in particular, but he did a lot in life and in death.
It's really incredible.
Thank you.
Mike, any thoughts as a community leader about people jumping in, being able to make sure that they're taking those little steps that we've talked about to be able to keep doing better on the island?
Yeah, listen, for a long time here on Staten Island, I was just a volunteer. I was just sacrificing my time, serving on the board of the Y, serving for Community Education Council 31, all as a volunteer. And I got to tell you, the most gratifying thing was how I felt after I saw somebody being lifted up, where their spirits are lifted, where they got a helping hand. May not have been financially, but just to be there. So the bottom line is, if you get involved, you may get a reward that you never expected. You'll feel good about yourself. And what that does to you, it transcends and it multiplies to the whole community. If you feel good, the next person you're involved with, the next person you meet, you're going to pass that on, and it's going to be caught.
Thank you for coming in. Thank you for joining us today. Kathy, you got it.
Giving Tuesday is not just Giving Tuesday, it's every day. Like we said, we need the community and we need that collaboration, and we need to keep that moving forward.
Yeah, don't forget those that are less fortunate than yourself.
Thank you.
Thank
you for joining us. That's it.
Great.
Awesome.
Yeah.